Well, hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Glenn's Garage. This is my second video. Today we've got a Craftsman lawnmower that a neighbor called me about last night, and it won't start. So what I've done is I put a spark checker to see if we have spark. This is a spark checker. And what you do is you pull and see if this will, it lights up. And in order to see it, I use a mirror. Put it down here. Let me move you over so you can see. And I'm gonna pull this and see if we get spark. You guys see it? It's very faint, but it's there. Yeah, it's definitely got spark. So now the second thing we can do is I'm going to pull the spark plug out, put a little fuel in there. All right, so this is a brand new spark plug. Yeah, you can't see it too good. Let's see if I could focus. There you go, brand new. So let's put a little go juice in there. So what I use is a zoom spout oiler, or an oiler, and I put some fuel in here. A couple of squirts. Okay, let's see if it turns over. All right, so it turns over. So we know the spark plug works. A little fuel in the cylinder. It wants to run. It tells me that this is a carb problem. So our next step is we're gonna get it up on the table, and we're going to, excuse me. So this is my work table. See, carburetors on that side. So let's take that off. The airbox Let's see here. All right. It's a new air filter. This is kind of nasty. This needs to be cleaned. So, let's see, we got 3 5/16. Well, this has never been off. Well, it's a little harder. They must have used some kind of Loctite. Let me... some sockets here. Okay. I don't want that stuff going into the carburetor. So let me clamp and disconnect the fuel line. I want to take a look at the fuel, see what's in the tank. You guys see that okay? Yeah. All right. I've taken the coffee cup thing from Mr. Musty One. Let's see what's in the gas. Okay, there's some debris in there. See the little bits? So we're going to have to take the tank off and clean it. So right now, I kind of believe the carburetor's fouled. What I've got is I have an ultrasonic cleaner. I started up when I got out here. Right now, it's heating up. This is the heat side. That's the ultrasonic side. So I've got Fast Orange in here. And Fast Orange is a degreaser, and I put a little bit of Dawn dish soap. It kind of helps. So let me pull this carburetor off first. So I have to take the top off here. 6/16. Where's my quarter? There it is. This is for your choke. Now, there's 2 screws that hold the carb in place. They're 10 millimeters. And I've got some throttle linkage. Okay. Now, give me a minute. Let me set up my other toolbox and we'll disassemble the carb. But first we're going to drop the bowl and look at it. So now we're going to open the bowl on the carb. Let me wipe out this cup. All right, so the cup is clean. And we're going to pull that bowl out. And a lot of that garbage settles in the bowl and then it gets sucked up inside and clogs up the jets. Up 1/2 inch. Grab the wrong socket. That's your jet. And yes, bottom of the bowl has a bunch of debris. I'm pretty confident that that came out of there. Let's pour it in the cup. This carb is pretty dirty on the outside too. Some of that could have got into the cup. So, let me get another container for this. So there's a needle. It's in there. So what we're going to do is throw this all in the ultrasonic cleaner. Drop it inside, cover it up. Let's put it 30 minutes. So now we've done all that. Let me check the blade. I'll be right back. Oh no. We're going to check the blade, but before we can tip this over, this gas cap on here will leak. So what I've learned is we have to cover it up so it doesn't leak, and I use cellophane. This cap is really tore up. I think she needs a new cap. I don't even know if this will seal. And I need a little block of wood to rest the handle on. It's pretty dirty. She needed it. Okay, blades tore up. I don't know if you could see it. But now you can kind of see how jagged it is. Same thing there. So we're going to take that blade off and sharpen it. Then we will also clean the deck. So that bolt should be 5/8. Okay. You quickly run out of room when you're working. So, file, here's my scraper. I got a glove up. Okay. Now we have the blade to do. So what I do with the blade is I have a wire brush. I clean the blade up. And then I have a grinder for sharpening. So let me put on safety glasses, because you always want to be safe. Where are they? There they are. It's not worth losing an eye, because I can't see, I'm blind in one eye and can't see out of the other. You know what I mean? And I'm also hard of hearing. Ask my wife. Okay, let me clean this up. So there were a couple of really deep chunks missing out of the blade. And what I'll do is grind it flat to grind the chunk out, and then pick up my angle, and you can see as you're grinding, and resharpen the blade. This doesn't have to be razor blade sharp. I've said that in the past. You're not shaving with it. And basically, just the first few inches is what's being used to cut the grass anyway. So we'll put that back on. I don't know if this is the right blade or... Okay, doesn't look bent. So let's flip it back. let's and we're back. Compressor shut off. Only got about 8 more minutes on here. I'm going to set it for another 30, and we're going to pull that tank off and empty it out. So these are a few more 5/16 screws. They're probably metric, but 5/16 works. So there's 3 on the top. And then there's a 10 millimeter underneath with the spacer. Remember the spacer. You gotta get this handle through this guard. Okay, let me beer. So the cellophane trick worked. It held. So you can see clean. Let's see what's going to happen now. Ew. Debris. Lots of debris. So now what I will do with this tank, when they get polluted, I rinse them out with alcohol. I have isopropyl alcohol. Now let me document this so I could show the homeowner. So, alcohol, not the kind you drink. Do you have a buzzing in your ears? Okay, denatured alcohol. Can you see that all right? So this stuff burns. It's used as fuel. So I'll rinse out the inside of the tank with it. All right. Something about these cans, they never pour right. They're always pouring all over the place. There. Huh. That fit? No. I shouldn't be so lucky. All right. Pour this in there. Okay, round two, put just a little bit more in here, make sure that it's clean. They still got a little bit in there. Let me show you. Okay. It's clean. Do a little more alcohol. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's put this tank back on. So, a mechanic, as a mechanic, you don't want to tighten all your bolts at once. Just get them in there, get them started, because what happens is this stuff doesn't line up because everything's tight. So let's that's that. Those are done. Now we're going to get set up and get the carburetor. All right, let's get the carb out of the ultrasonic cleaner. So turn that off, pop the lid. I could still use more cleaning. Oh, maybe not. Just residual stuff. It's loose, just needs to be rinsed off. Okay. So here are parts. Jet, bowl, carburetor. All right. One of the things I have, I used to work in a hospital, and I've got plenty of forceps. This forcep, yeah, you could see it there. What it is it's a little prong from my wire brush. So I use that for poking out the jet and then blowing it out. So this jet here has tiny holes in it. So we're rolling away. Okay. Carburetor. This one here you got to watch. So where the needle goes, there's a little rubber seat. I don't think you can see it, but there's a rubber seat that the needle seats against. You don't want to blow in here too hard, because what happens is it'll come flying out. So I usually like to blow it the opposite way. Okay, gasket. This needle goes back on. Drop that in place, put the pin in. Put the bowl back in place. Okay, bowl's back in place. So you can blow in it. Nothing. Turn it over. And you can blow through. So here is the linkage. This linkage goes in here. And this is gonna, there's an O-ring in here, over here, that is what seals the carb against the motor. Sometimes there is a gasket, not in these cases. This is basically, it's the same thing as a Toro, but it's a Craftsman. Millimeter. Yep. There. You want to catch a couple of threads, because if you don't, and you put this impact on there, you're going to strip it. And we don't want that, do we? Excuse me. Okay, those are started. Now let's do the impact thing. All right. Now the choke slips in here. It's the automatic choke. And we'll go into that some other day, how that works. You want to make sure the spring's on. That moves freely. All right, our fuel line. Slip that on. These are pretty cool. Harbor Freight. I got a straight one and a bent one, and they come in handy. Okay, that's on. Now, and this one, all I did is just blew it out. Should probably in the air box. I'm going to clean it some more. Okay. Thing keeps moving on me. I just went against what I told you earlier. There it is. Oop, wrong one. I don't know. Screwdrivers all look the same. Right? What do you think? Okay. We are going to add oil. So it's 20 ounces. Where's my oil container? Here it is. Okay, let's get our 20 ounces of oil and wrap this up. Ounces. Let me put this in. All right, let's drop this down. I don't know why the table does that, but it does. Okay, so if we did our job, this is going to fire and run. I have to, let me put some Go juice in there. Well, I would call that a win. And let's wrap it up. Until next time, this is Glenn's Garage. Thanks for coming.